Hello, welcome to another episode of Graham and Ant's Great Adventures. This week we're going to look at some more improvements that we've made to our Zone 20'6" base. We're also going to have a quick look at some security I've put on our Land Cruiser, and we're going to finish off with a quick look at the Zone Muster 2023 up at Hangaro. Also, as usual on this episode, we have Shadow, the co-producer. So let's have a quick look inside. On a previous video I said I wanted to install an MPPT charger to our battery system. Well, it's all happened and I'll show you where we've mounted it. So with the battery system and the two existing chargers under this seat, there's certainly no room to mount another charger. But under the other seat, where the inverter is mounted, there's just enough space to fit the MPPT charge. The MPPT solar controller is used to extract maximum amount of power out of your solar panels. So why the extra charger? We have two chargers already installed on the van when we purchase it. The first one is the AC 40 amp Enerdrive charger. It charges off a 240 volt main supply, and the other one is the DC to DC charger. So that either supplies power from your alternator on your car or your solar batteries, but not both at the same time. If you have a combined solar charger, one that receives power from the alternator on your car and also from your solar panels, most of them are green energy friendly, meaning they'll only do one or the other, and they'll always choose the solar over the charge from the car, even though sometimes the charge from the car is a greater input. In winter time you get less hours of sun, and the angle of the sun is fairly high in the northern sky, so you're getting a greatly reduced amount of solar energy. The way to come around this is to have a separate charger for your supply from your alternator from your car, and also the solar panels on your roof to get maximum charge. So topping up your battery is pretty similar to topping up a bucket. If you've just got one hose to fill your bucket, it's going to take a longer time. If you've got two or three sources to fill that battery at the same time, you can top it up a lot quicker, and that's what all the chargers can do. You can quite safely charge the battery from all those sources at once, and it'll make a quick job of it. And while on the subject of filling up things quickly, this is the manifold that I had on a previous video. I'll just recap on this again. Purchased this from Mitre 10. The manifold you purchase, and then you just make up your hose lengths. So this enables you to fill all three tanks at once, plus also have your mains pressure still connected. And we've got it set up with a best water filter, so when we fill the tanks we're getting filtered water at the same time. So very handy device this. And while we're on the subject of water, we've made another improvement to our tank water system. When we picked up the van, you may recall when we did the run through, the switch to operate the pump is located at the back of this cupboard, which was okay, but I felt we could improve on that. So what I've done is mounted a switch right there above the sink. So quite easy when you get somewhere, and a lot easier for the cook to turn on. If you're interested how I did that, I'll just quickly show you how I could run the cable up and make a fairly simple job of it. So this is for the base. There's a microwave and a service cupboard, and then underneath that service cupboard there's a fuse box up here, and it's where the pump is actually fed from. So what you can do is actually take that cable off the fuse and run a new cable down through the duct below the floor here. There's a duct that runs right below the cupboard for services. Take one of your drawers out, and that's fairly easily done. So to remove the drawer, just go underneath the drawer. You can see all the screws here, and then this is the one up here. It's a brass screw, different colour. And you just take that out either side. It's one either side, and then the drawer will just lift off this pull-out rack to give you access behind it. The other good thing, when you pull that drawer out, if anything's fallen behind the drawer, you can reach down and retrieve it. You only need to pull one drawer out, and then that gives you access to the back of the cupboard. The radio you can pull out. This cover just comes off fairly easily. Undo all the screws. The radio pulls out, which gives you a big open space behind. This is a duct that comes from the top cupboard down to the rear cupboard. This is a cable duct, there's not much in this. So basically you can bring your cable up through underneath here, and then you can drill a hole at the side of the cupboard here, 22mm hole saw. It's a double thickness, so you have to drill it from both sides, but then you can bring your cable up through there, mount it on there, label the switch, and you've got a water pump switch where you really need it. Now you leave that other switch in the back of the cupboard, it still operates basically. It's too hard to get access to that in the wiring. So basically I'll put a little drawing up now so you can have a look. But basically you come off the fuse circuit, you run your new cable up to the new switch, and then back and connect it onto that same circuit, which means that other switch is still connected, but you wouldn't often use that. Certainly makes it a lot easier to switch the pump on and off, and if you want to turn it off at night while you're sleeping, it's a lot easier. Also on the subject of water, another good improvement is changing the shower head. This is an Eco Camel. It draws air with the water, which means you're using almost half as much as water what you normally would, but it's giving you a really good shower. It's actually a better shower than actually came with the van. So you can order these online. I'll just put the name up on the bottom of the screen now. And another good gadget in your shower is these bars. You can buy these from Bunnings. They just screw out at either end. They come in different sizes. We use this as a dryer. Basically, if we can't dry clothes outside, it's too wet or anything, this just holds there. That's stayed there ever since we've got the van. Actually, it doesn't come off. You just screw it in so it's tight. You can hang the clothes there. You can then even put your heater on and leave this door open. It acts like a dryer and does a pretty good job of it. Speaking of switching things off during the night, this is something that we've needed to turn off during the night, our gas alarm. Sometimes it just goes off for no apparent reason, and we used to have to get out and pull the fuse out. So what I've done, I've fitted a switch just over here on the underside of the seat. It's a bell press switch, which means when you turn it off, it only goes off momentarily, which disconnects supply to the gas alarm, turning it off, and then when you let go of it, it's reconnected again, but that's enough to stop the alarm going off in the middle of the night. The fuse for the gas alarm is under the seat where the batteries are. The toilet and the gas share the same fuse on this little panel. To get this off, you just lift that up and you can actually pull those fuses out. The cable for the new switch to isolate the gas alarm momentarily was the same deal. We just ran it off the fuse, just ran it to the end there, drilled a hole in the back, and we're able to fit that switch fairly easily. And while speaking of switching, this is another improvement which I did show you on a previous video, but I'll just recap quickly. Great improvement was to get a power point and light switch up to this end of the cupboard where you come in the door, because previously there was no light switch when you came in the van and no power at this end. So this is a two-way switch connected to the switch at the other end. Quite easy to run anything in these vans. There's a service duct running right through the back of the cupboard from one end to the other. Another improvement we've made is fitting shoe boxes beside the bed. Now this is a terrific place to store your shoes. My camera gear goes in here as well. Plenty of space for all your gear out of the road, and also makes a great step to get it into bed, because the beds on these are fairly high, and just makes easy work of it. So they come in a pair, one fitted each side. We actually did get Zane to build and install these when we had the last service. I thought about doing it myself, but I wanted the same look as the rest of the van. They're not cheap, but once they're installed, they're a great asset to your van. To prevent theft of our car, we've just installed the latest technology in security. An old school Pro Lock steering wheel lock. Picked it up at Repco on special for $60, and great deterrent, especially these days when people can hack into your car without even having the keys. The other good thing about this lock, it folds down and neatly fits in the top shelf of the glove box. Easy to get to. Another recent addition to the Cruiser is a pair of spotlights at the front. These are made by Steady. Absolutely brilliant at night. Really impressed with the quality, all the hardware that came with them, the wiring loom, everything you needed to do a quick install. And I think the total price was about $460 for the whole package delivered. And they came with a pair of covers as well. Good protection. If you need any more information on some of those tips I've given you, just shoot me a question and I'll get back to you. We're just going to finish this video with a quick look at the 2023 muster we just attended at Hangar O. Some 85 zone caravans and about 180 zoners had a great weekend.
Open air, side by side we sway there in all the colors. Some love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Some love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast, when the garden won't stop giving back. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass, I could really use some stuff like that. Talk to me and tell me all that you've seen, all the colors. Some love,
And that's all, folks.